Now, in what is being tagged as an image overhaul, Ethiopia is making moves to clean up its capital city, Addis Ababa, with a possible ban on street begging. Ethiopia, which has a population of more than 100 million people, has been among Africa's fastest growing economies for more than a decade. But the Addis Ababa Bureau of Social and Labor Affairs estimates that there are about 50,000 people living on the streets of the capital.
18-year-old Britukan has been living on the streets of downtown Addis Ababa for almost 4 years and is 7 months pregnant. Britukan was once in a government-owned rehabilitation camp for 5 months, but escaped and came back to the streets.
Whether it is street children or sex workers, it's not a life we choose. No one chooses to become a prostitute or a beggar while there's work or a roof over their heads. Now, what we want is some sort of training, but overall, we want a roof over our heads.
Addis Ababa's administrators are trying to improve the city's image and have drafted a law that will ban begging and sex work on the city streets. City officials first presented the draft law to a public forum on August the 12th to gauge the opinion of the almost 3 million people who are resident in the city. Rehabilitation centers have been set up by the government to provide medical care, help break addictions, offer counseling, and give vocational training.
I was happy to come to this center because it was my wish, even when I was on the street, that I will someday be rescued by an organization like this. Today, it has helped me to discover myself and quit my addictions. My future plan is to get educated, be employed, and help my family after transforming myself.
The Addis Ababa Labor and Social Affairs Department is training its employees to provide various types of support to beggars and sex workers.
We have prepared a scheme that creates employment for this part of society. We also have schemes for the poorest of the poor, and they also benefit from that. However, some of them are not interested in taking part in these schemes. They say they can earn easy money. They sometimes go beyond begging and take part in criminal activities.
Addis Ababa City Administration recently launched a fund they say will be used to provide shelter and basic needs for people living on the street. A 4-digit SMS number has been set up so that the public can make donations to the fund via their mobile phones. The fund will also allow those over 60 years old to stay at the centers where their needs will be catered to for the rest of their lives.
Now, Cairo's 5-square-kilometer historic city is acclaimed as having the world's most concentrated and extensive collection of Islamic architecture. But it faces an uncertain future as certain old buildings are being torn down at an alarming rate. However, architects and urban restorers are fighting to save old buildings.
Ala al-Habashi was looking for ingredients for a Ramadan feast when he stumbled on an Ottoman-era mansion being used as a slaughterhouse and butcher's shop in Cairo's historic Islamic district. Built of brick and stone, it has a large inner courtyard and a number of rooms with decorative painted wooden ceilings. He struck up a friendship with the butcher who owned the building and received a call from him several years later saying a property developer wanted to buy it and tear it down.
The truth is that there, every single historic house is under threat or ramshackle, or that is dragged in dispute as we try to preserve it, restore it, and repair it in a modern way. Unfortunately, this is the case currently, but there is also a glimmer of hope.
Determined to save the building, Habashi bought it in 2009, only to be told he could raise it but not restore it. He refused to give up and won the right to restore it in a 2-year legal battle. A decade after he bought the building, the restoration is almost complete.
We are here to spread some positivity and to try to retain what is left of these buildings. And there are many ways in which we are trying to do so, including registering these buildings as protected.
His battle is part of a larger fight to save old buildings which some professional restorers and architects fear is being lost because of bureaucracy, official corruption and laws which they say do little to protect Egypt's architectural heritage.